All right. Hello, guys. We are here with Corentin, but not a dino profile,
Not
but
this time.
another profile. So, what deck did you play, Corentin? What was your overall record?
I played Salamangreat at the Carta Magica winner box on Saturday. I went 4-1 in rounds, losing the last round, and then I won the entire thing after 3 rounds of top 8.
So 7-1 in total, right?
7-1, yeah, overall.
Nice. All right. So yeah, let's get into it.
So it was Salamangreat. So in terms of Salamangreat ratios, there's not much to be discussed there. Like three Foxies, 3 Spinnies, and the Gazelle as far as the level 3s go. And then 2 Jaguars and a Falco. We only play the 2 Jaguars so that we don't lose the only one we have with the Desires. It's fine. And then the best Salamangreat monster, 3 Buffalo.
So
no debugs.
No debugs at all.
No,
Did you ever feel like you missed it, or?
Not really, actually. I think those are good normal summons. Gazelle can be a normal summon. Foxy is fine as a normal summon. Of course, this one is the best one. But sometimes you just open other Salamangreats and it works just as well.
Right.
I think debug loses too hard to hand traps.
I agree.
You need to have stuff like already the Gazelle and stuff to be able to play, and I think it's a bit too awkward. For the spells, I have the 1 Sanctuary, the 1 Circle. I play Triple Will, which is kind of one of the ones that can be discussed. I think it's one of the. I think it's important to have at 3. It lets you be really aggressive with Desires, because even if you lose the field spell, this can still make Foxy live from the grave. It gives you a face-up spell shot. Going second, it's one of the best ways to still make the access code package to negate and OTK. And going first, sometimes you open it and you have a decent hand. You can just not use it and play into the Nibiru, get it out of the hand, and then still establish your traps. And at least next turn, you don't have to think about it too much.
Right.
Whereas if you tried to play around it, you'd always have to play around it every single turn, and that's not something I want to do. I play Triple Desires for card advantage. I play a single Silent Mining, because when you resolve Buffalo, you're often going to see Desires and vice versa.
Right.
And I'm fine seeing Desires sometimes I think 2 Desires in the same turn. I'm not fine with seeing 2 Silent Minings.
Yeah, that hurts.
That card's a hard -1. If I can draw into it with those cards, fine, I'm going to discard something I don't want. But I really don't want to have to start with the mining and not much.
Okay.
I played that one, it's fine.
And did Desires ever backfire, or resolving it?
Not that day. I've had the legendary Desires into 2 Desires a week before, but this time it went just fine. Sometimes I lose the Gazelle and the field spell and I still win. It's not
Access Code's a good card.
Access Code is the deck's actual win con. As for traps, and the one called by the grave. It's kind of a trap.
Okay, you do play them.
I do play the one called by the grave.
Gotcha.
Yeah. It's way better for that deck than Crossout will be, because you can just set it and it's still live disruption.
Right.
As for the traps, I play 3 strikes, and then I play 2 rages in a row. I don't want to go too heavy on the Salamangreat traps, because unlike strike, especially row is pretty bad going second.
Yeah.
Rage is something you can justify. I do have the second row in the side, however. But I think strike is by far the best trap to main, because if you lose the dice roll, it's still a very good card.
Yeah. Is there a reason you chose 2 rages over the 2 rolls?
Yeah, because it's better going second. You can still set it and remove part of the board, whereas if they stop you from even getting a link, row is completely unusable.
Gotcha.
Rage is, I think, the better card. But once you side, you want to get the second row in to counter their side deck.
Gotcha.
And as far as hand traps go, I play 3 Phantasmes.
Mained, right?
Mained, yeah. 3 Ashes, 3 Bells, and only 2 Impermanences. I already have quite a few traps I want to set. I don't want to lose too hard to Storms of Feather Dusters.
Right.
Those ones are really important, and they're level 3. Sometimes that helps.
Did you ever consider wanting the Veiler to go with the Phantasme? I
did, but honestly, Imperm is such
Imperm is better. Yeah.
It's hard to justify not playing it. If you draw it with Phantasme, you just shuffle it back. If you draw it before, you can just use it before using Phantasme. It's really I thought about it. If you wanted to play more hand traps, Veiler is a good choice, but it's not necessary. Have a look at the
40 main deck, or
40 main deck.
40?
Yeah, exactly 40.
All right.
As for the side deck, extra deck. It's Salamangreat, so
3, of course.
3 Balinxes, 3 Wolves. I see some Mad Lads not play it, but I think Itleo is still one of the best things to have.
Mm-hmm.
And the 1 Mirage Stalio.
Yep.
There's really not anything really weird with this. I know some people don't play Itleo and choose to play other techs, but sometimes they just cut Itleo and then start playing Phoenix, which makes no sense.
No, I think Heatlio's.
And then I play the Captain Planet elements,
right?
Water, Wind, Earth, and Captain Planet himself.
Yep.
That's how the deck wins its games. I can control for a while with Salamangreats, but usually that's how you win the game.
No. And then
I don't know, some lists sometimes don't play Splash, but I think it's still
No, it's
very
definitely
much worth it.
absolutely.
And for the like contentious choices, I play Appaloosa instead of Dweller.
So this is a flex spot, all right? So what was your reasoning behind
I
this?
find that to be easier to make than Dweller is. I know Dweller is more impactful in the matchups you really want it in, like I don't know, Tri-Brigade, but mostly Prank Kids and Drytron. I just find that having 2 4s on board needs like mostly you're gonna need Will and then already a 4, or you're gonna need Gazelle and then a way to go Mirage Talio and still the Will, or like you're gonna need to have a really good hand that could most likely win the game already. But the biggest issue I have with that deck is that sometimes I want as many of my cards to be live. The thing is, if you go first and your hand is something like Spinny, Jack, Will, and then Staples,
Right.
your Salamangreat cards are doing nothing because you have a 4, a 3, no trap.
Yeah, you make Wolf, but that's kind of
stuck on this.
Yeah.
However, that hand still makes Appaloosa for 3 and recovers cards for next turn. So you just go Appaloosa for 3, you have your Staples, and then if you survive, you go for access code. It's less impactful than Dweller can be, but it's also easier to make. It's more flexible. It works better with the deck.
So instead of ending on Wolf, you get back the cards on Wolf, and then you just pass on Apple.
You get stuff back first, and then you still make the Apple. So you pass on Apple, whatever other staples you had.
Okay.
You still have a fire in hand, and you still have the Will.
Okay.
So next one, it makes access code like doable.
Okay.
And you just need to gain a turn, which if you don't get it, that usually does it. And the last spot that's kind of weird is like play the one Almirage.
Almirage.
If you really wanted to play Dweller, that's probably where you'd put it.
Right.
It fills quite a few weird niches. Sometimes when you run out of Balances, you need another like it's weird to say, but it's another normal summon link away.
Yeah.
In grind games, when you already have a full grave, but both you and your opponent are top decking, it's weird, but it happens really often when I just draw a hand trap, like an Ash or a Bell.
And it turns into access code.
And instantly it turns into access code because your grave's live. And that might be niche now. It might be less niche when Thunderies and other decks come out and people start playing more zombie worlds. But this is a really good way to go Foxy, link it away, because it's still a 1k attack.
Right, and then
despite not being a Cybers, and then you bring it back, pop the zombie world, and you're still able to play. So if you play in the meta with zombie worlds, it's a really fine card. I make it once or twice per locals. On that specific Saturday, I made it twice in games I lost anyway. So it could have helped. It didn't decide a game this time. So had this been Dweller, I would have gone just the same or better. So if you really want to play Dweller,
that was the question I kind of had. Like
if you really want to Dweller, put it back instead of this. But I would say keep the Appaloosa.
Because going first against Drytrons, were you ever scared your hand just wasn't good enough? Or
if you have Apple and Strike, it's fine, but it's always been kind of the issue against Drytron. If you really want Dweller, replace this and keep the Appaloosa, however.
Okay.
As for the side deck, I play 3 Nibiru's, 2 Cycle Readers for specifically Drytron, but I don't want to side too much just for them. Then I play 3 Droplets.
So this one's interesting. Is this like, how do you say it? Do you just want this to kind of so you can choose access code to kill?
It's for very specific stuff. I need something that can get rid of something like a window. Like you can do it during your turn, like unlike impermanence. It's something that can serve against Battle Butler.
Right.
Because you like they're not going to fuse before your normal summon. You're gonna have cards on board, but when you go normal summon and then they fuse, they go effect from grave, effect from grave, and then you can just droplets this.
Yeah. And
the Battle Butler is dead. Same, you can also droplet the Bower Bark. You don't want the monsters to be indestructible, so you can kill them with
right. You could draw face shotgun.
Like it's when specific chain links, it works against like it's mostly as I said, like Winder, Battle Butler.
I think it's better against Bow when you can shotgun it and draw face.
Shurag, when they resolve the draw, you're like, sure, get your pluses, you're dead. Just make sure they can't interrupt your board and then you kill them.
Okay. No, it's interesting because a lot of control decks usually just go for hand traps.
And against Drytron, because I play 3 wheels, it's not unrealistic to resolve this on Beatrice, IP, Herald, and then you only have to play through 1 orange, which is really fine for that deck.
Right.
As long as you have 4 names that can come back, either they range you and then you go into transcode, or they don't range you, you have the 4 materials, you make the access code straight up and you kill them.
Right.
Especially if you've gone Phantasme reveal this, like it's 1 more card to send off. It makes that like easier to use.
All right, yeah, I like it.
And then like some back row hate, I play 2 Cyclone and Feather Duster. The deck mains, rages and rolls, so it doesn't need to add too much.
Did you prefer Cosmic over Twin because of like Eldritch and stuff, or you just didn't want to discard?
I just didn't want to discard much. I know in Prank Kids you'd rather have Twin to have higher chances of swiping the fusion spell, but it worked fine thus far. I don't want to discard too much. I know I use many hand traps as well. So if I've used hand trap, I just want to do like
you want to be able to
trades,
normal summon, yeah.
but keep at least 2-3 counts to work with. You could go for twins, honestly. Like if you don't face a lich, you can try twin. I don't want to get negated after having paid the cost. And for traps, I play 2 anti-spell and a better anti-spell.
Yeah.
You can shut those off yourself with your own Foxy. Same if you set this on the droplet can shut it off on your own turn, it's fine. And the second row, which is mostly that when you know you go first and you want to like stop something like Evenly or the Feather Dusters and Lightning Storms.
Yeah. So
that goes in at that moment.
Was there anything in this list you changed, or you really worked on this the last few weeks? And
it's taken a few months to work on. I'm happy with it. I know people can disagree with 3 wheels and that few traps. It works well for my specific metagame. You can put Dweller there if you really want the Dweller.
Sure.
Just I don't like Parallel because it dies too much to Nib. And if you don't play Parallel, I think Dweller is really hard to make outside of having like
I agree.
the nuts.
I agree.
And like Appaloosa, which can be made and then no Nib. Even if they have Nib, you make the Appaloosa, and that's fine. But if you commit hard into your hand into Dweller and get Nib, you instantly lose the game. So.
So can you help Salad players who lose to Nib? Can you give them some tips and tricks of how to win despite it?
Play 3 wills.
Play 3 wills?
That's the thing. Like, you just play 3 wills, and then oftentimes I find myself having the will in hand and the Foxy engrave unused.
Right.
Make the basic board.
They nib you.
And if they have a dead nib, and I mean if they use it right now, you just will bring your stuff back and you still end on the same board and they -1. So.
All right, cool. All right. Well, thank you, Corentin. Congrats on the box that you won and a great 7-1 performance.
Thank you.
See you guys next time.
Bye.
Peace.